We're live, Mrs. Norman. You can begin.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, especially our parents and friends who are sharing with us tonight. We want to welcome you to our Parent Empowerment Forum for this evening. And on behalf of the I'm a Star Foundation and the Duval County Public Schools, certainly we thank you for sharing with us as we try to provide you with some information that we hope will empower you to become the best possible parents. We want your child to have a year full of fun, learning, and new adventures. We're going to begin this session. We're going to get started by beginning with a video. But before we begin with the video, we certainly, once again, as Ms. Burney has said, welcome each of you who are sharing with us. And we are especially pleased to see the counselor from Timaquan. So at this time, now you call her various things. That I'm just going to call her Ms. Armand is your last name. We're going
Yes,
to ask the
ma'am.
counselor if you'll just say a few words for us at this time.
Okay, everybody, thank you for attending. Sorry for the noise in my background, but it is dinner time, so please bear with me. um, family, you guys have been invited here today because it's very important. Your educational is very important not only as school, but our society and their future. The Amazon Foundation will assist these students struggling in certain areas and with mentorship to help encourage them to support their future and even different perspectives as they work to help them in different ways. Means exposure to can become children. They will learn and see people and develop with this information very slowly in the future. So I just wanted to say welcome and thank you for taking that extra step to ensure that your children
So
will have
now,
future.
so Miss Jarrell, did you want me to come back to you?
Did you hear me?
No, I know you said something about dinner.
I'm sorry, it's one second. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. I thought everyone heard me. I had a whole little spiel that I did. Can everyone hear me right now?
No,
Yes, we
because
can
I
hear
was
you
putting
now.
you on the spot, so that's why I said we can begin with our
Yes,
video.
we
We
can
have a
come back.
No,
video.
ma'am. I was
And
actually thanking all of my families for coming this evening, telling them that I really appreciate each of our parents taking an additional step in ensuring that their children are exposed to different and new things. And mentorship programs like I'm a Star make a lot of difference because the children get exposed to new people, new things. And some of our students might be a little bit behind and have had hiccups in their past. However, that's not their future, and we're trying to teach them different new ways of being. And this program can assist with that. And I just wanted to thank every one of my parents for taking one additional step to ensure their child's future is brighter and opening up new opportunities. Every chance our children get a chance to be exposed to something new, I would take it as a parent. And I just really appreciate each one of you guys for stepping forward tonight and taking an interest to see what this is all about. And I think you will agree that the mentorship program will make a difference in the life of your child. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
thank you. And we thank you for doing all that you do to get your parents involved and also all that you do to see to it that the students continue to progress. So thank you so much. And thank you for being with us this evening. We're going to begin this evening with a very powerful video, a video that we know will impact and affect each of you. So, coordinating this video will be our founder, CEO of the Amasa Foundation, uh, our one and only person who has definitely shown her interest in children all over Jacksonville and literally all over the world. But she has done all that she could to ensure that students will realize that they are indeed stars. And so she's going to begin by showing us this very powerful interview. So please help me welcome our CEO and founder, Miss Betty Burney. Miss Burney.
Thank you so very much, Mrs. Norman, and to Mr. Moss and Ms. Davis. I think that you will enjoy this video. And what I want to ask you to do is, as you're listening to the video, as you're watching it, just think about one or two things that actually jump out at you so that we can discuss it on the other end. Give me 1 second.
A great parent is not the one who gives the most money, not the one who gives the most toys, not the one who gives the best place to live. A great parent is the one who gives attention. To be a great parent, all you need to do is be present with your child. Not give presents, be present. That's all kids really want. They want you to notice them, to be loved, to be wanted. The best parent is the one whose eyes light up when their child enters the room. The parent who makes a promise to love unconditionally. The parent who leads by example. Not by what you say, but by what you do. Kids will never pay attention to your words. They will always and only pay attention to your actions and your intentions. A great parent works on themselves. A great parent makes their own mind strong, knowing their kids will likely follow in their footsteps. Heal yourself. Make your own mind strong, so your children can see the clearest example of what a great life looks like. Setting a clear and strong example of what type of human being you want your kids to become starts with you. It's up to you to set the example of kindness and compassion toward others, to set the example of what it is like to be yourself, to set the example of living a magical life that you choose. That's what a great parent does. Set their child free. Allow them to be themselves. Allow them to make their own decisions. Live your life in such a way that when your kids think of kindness, compassion, strength, authenticity, and real joy, they think of you. A great parent knows not to allow anything in their life they don't want their children to reproduce in their lives. That includes toxic relationships. That includes bad habits. That includes making decisions based on fear. A great parent listens. They don't lecture. A great parent supports, never shames. A great parent guides and sets free. Being a parent is not a job. It's a privilege. Being a parent is not a burden. It's a blessing. They are always watching. What kind of role model will you be for your children?
So I hope that you enjoyed that video. And I'm just going to ask either Ms. Davis or Mr. Moss, can either of you tell me anything that jumped out at you when you watched and heard that video?
Nothing really jumped, excuse me, nothing really jumped out to me. I mean, because it's kind of normal things to me for parenting for me, but I know, I can't speak for everyone else, but it would definitely had a lot of great points in it. And it definitely has some good, all of the points are great points. It ain't, like I said, it didn't jump out because it's just kind of how who he is, very supportive of, of the kids and things like that. I actually coach. So I've raised a lot of kids, including my own, so excellent. I got, one in college right now. He actually went to Timber Corner. And
awesome.
So yeah, so we but it is good information, definitely good information.
That's great. That's great. Miss Davis, anything jump out at you, or anything that kind of you'd like to share with regards to that video?
I totally agree with what he said. I just believe it's normal. I'm a mother of 5, and I definitely, everything that they were saying is just normal of what my own parents taught me. So
that's great. That's great. One of the things that jumped out at me is that it talked about basically being informed. And that's the purpose for tonight. We're going to make sure that we inform you because, as you know, an informed parent is an empowered parent. And an empowered parent can actually take children from good to great. And the two of you are already exhibiting that. And so I think what we'd ask also is that you share your knowledge as a parent with other parents so that we can make sure that all children are receiving all of that good and great information in order for young people to thrive, especially during this pandemic. And so I'm going to now turn it back to Mrs. Norman.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Burney, and thank you, parents, for your input. The main thing that jumps out on me also is the fact that those great parents give attention, and the fact that you are giving so much attention to your children, and we appreciate that. So parents, don't forget to sign in tonight in your chat box. And if you're on YouTube, you can just sign in on the comment section. Once again, we want to welcome our guest school, the Tennequan Elementary School, located on the west side of Jacksonville. So now, parents, before we assist you in empowering your children, we want to take just a few minutes to give you a few tips that we hope will help you reduce some of the stress that I'm sure that you are experiencing at this time. So coming to assist you with some of our coping tips will be Ms. Victoria Perry. She is our STAR mentoring coordinator for our elementary schools. And if you have not already heard the name, you will be hearing the name, Ms. Perry. So at this time, please welcome Ms. Victoria Perry, our elementary STAR mentoring coordinator. Ms. Perry.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, parents. Thank you for joining. I'm so excited. I got to talk to some of you guys via text and through the phone today. So thank you so much for joining. I really, really appreciate it. And Miss Armand, thank you for joining as well. So just a couple of little stress relievers that we can do during this time. We're in a pandemic. We just had a crazy election. So everything is kind of everywhere. Our minds are everywhere. But on the screen, there are a couple of tips that you can guys take into consideration. Slow down, enjoy life, just relax, no need to rush everything. Just kind of take a moment to breathe. If you haven't done it lately, take a walk in the morning or in the evening. Turn off your phone. I really believe in turning my phone off for at least an hour to just be in the moment of what I have going on. Enjoy the simple things in life. Enjoy the free things in life. Going outside is completely free. Just sit outside and enjoy it to clear your minds, because even the children have a lot going on dealing with COVID and going to school, and some are staying at home. So just take your family outside for a little bit, just talk to them, take it easy, and just relax. And you'll be just fine. And also during the pandemic, we don't know how long this is going to be, how long it's going to last, but do know that there are things that you can control and things that you cannot control. So let go of what you can't control and do what you can, and then you won't be as stressed with everything that's going on. So I hope those can help you guys.
Thank you so much, Ms. Perry. I always learn each week. That's right. There are some things that we can do to reduce that stress. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move right on along, and we're going to present to you now the focus of this evening's parent session, and that is survival, the beginner's guide to exploration. And this intriguing session will be presented to you by our student success coordinator for our high school and the STAR mentoring coordinator for our middle school. So you see she wears several hats. Please help me welcome Ms. Manye Dawson. Ms. Dawson.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Norman. Good evening, parents. And thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We can't express enough. One thing that, like you said, it didn't really jump out because it's something that as parents, we already do it. But one line in the video from earlier, it said a parent who leads by example. All right. And one of the things that I'm going to impart with you guys tonight is organizational skills, how to keep you guys successful throughout the year. These are the things that we can apply to our children because our children watch our every move. They love to imitate us. And sometimes when we say things, they repeat it. They're like sponges at this age, especially in elementary school. So one thing that they can pick up at an early age is a good habit is our organizational skills. So in the midst of navigating through the pandemic and all the craziness and uncertainty that's happening in the world, like Ms. Perry said, you can concentrate on the things that you can control. And one of those is being very, very organized. So I'm going to share with you guys your parent survival kit for this evening. All right. And with navigating new territory is all of 2020, the story of our lives right now, you have to have an exploration guide. All right. So it's not, this isn't something that we've encountered before. So we're all navigating through these unprecedented times together, but the Amastar Foundation is here to make it a lot easier for our parents. So the first thing, and I think all of the parents tonight received our parent survival kit in our cool little camouflage bag. So one of the things that's in the bag, and if you have your bag, go ahead and grab it. If you don't have your bag with you on hand right now, that's fine, but all the things that I'm gonna mention are in your bags, and nobody has their camera turned on, so I can't see if you are grabbing the items with me or not, but here we go. So the first thing that you need on any exploration is a roadmap. I was born and raised in Jacksonville, and to this day, I cannot tell you how to get anywhere unless it's near a food place. I need my GPS for everything, all right? And when we're navigating 2020 and different schools and new classrooms, you're gonna need a roadmap too. So the first thing in your pack, it might not look like mine, but we have a notepad, all right? This is your roadmap, a memo pad. If my list of things to do has more than 2 things on it, I don't care if it's a grocery list, I have to write it down. I'm a visual learner. Some of your children might be visual learners. You might be a visual learner. So if you write it down, it's gonna stick better, all right? When you give a child a memo pad, whether they're writing a list to Santa Claus or a list to you, one thing a memo pad will do is encourage them to have better handwriting, number one, because if I can't read chicken scratch, I'm not gonna get whatever is on your list, all right? So it teaches them how to have good handwriting. It also teaches them spelling skills. If you read their list and 10 words are misspelled on it, you know you're gonna correct your child. So this is a kind of sort of roundabout way of teaching your child different spelling habits as well. So everything is a teachable moment, especially when they're in elementary school. List your goals for the week. All right. Now, a memo pad is small. So that means you're not listing goals for the month or the year. You do it 1 week at a time. That way you can have a clear, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will. That way it's not overwhelming and it's really easy to check it off. Sometimes if I have things on a list, I'll write things I've already done just so I can check it off already, because it gives you a sense of motivation saying, well, oh, I already got like 2 or 3 things done on my list. I can knock out the other 4. So that's a good way to encourage yourself when it comes to things. So I always keep a small memo pad with me, either in my car or in my purse, just in case I have to write down something very quickly. Also on your roadmap, your school provides you with one. Please, please, please make sure, and this is across the board for all of our schools, you have to have your updated contact information. Because we're in the time of COVID, things getting written on paper and flyers being sent out is a lot less scarce than what it used to be. All right, so schools are now sending information home via email. So please just all it takes is a quick phone call, contact your child's school to make sure they have, 1, the correct phone number for you. A lot of times we try to get in contact with parents and the number is either disconnected or it belongs to somebody new. So please update your phone number. Your email address, please make sure you have an updated email address on file. You may think you submitted one with the blue cards this year. Maybe it didn't. So just a quick phone call to make sure your school has all the information it needs. Also, if you have another point of contact, if you have a second email address, a work email, put that on file as well so you're not missing anything. If you are on a schedule, well, you should be on a schedule, but if your child is learning from home, put them on a schedule, all right? Even if your child goes to school, have a schedule set, and you can put that on your memo pad. Have a schedule set for when they get home. My daughter, she's in 5th grade this year. The first thing she does when she comes home from school is take a bath, get out of those clothes, because of course we're in the age of COVID-19. You have to get the germs off. So before you sit down, before you pass go and collect 200 Monopoly dollars, you have to go get out of those clothes, take a shower, put on your lounging clothes, and then it's homework time. You might be able to grab a quick snack, but no TV, no video games until that homework is complete. Children are more likely to get their homework done right, number one, and number two, get it done more quickly if they do it as soon as they get home. If I come home and instead of doing my work, I watch 30 minutes of TV, or I go and get on the computer or the Xbox or the PlayStation for 30 minutes, all that knowledge that I had in my head as soon as I left school is out the door. It's going to take me longer to try to recall information because it's not fresh on my mind anymore. All right, so set a schedule. Have their homework block, then have even put dinner time on a schedule, because one thing as adults we should do is learn to eat dinner on time, learn to eat dinner as a family, because the kids are more willing to open up with you if dinner isn't 9 o'clock one night and 7 o'clock another night. So set a schedule because it helps. I'm trying to stop eating after a certain time at night to help with this diet thing. Sometimes it doesn't work, but as long as you have this, at least I have the schedule. I did step one. So if it doesn't work, that's on me. But at least I know I at least tried or attempted to set a schedule with a memo pad. Even schedule family time, because family time is important. And like I said, the kids are more willing to open up and tell you about their day versus if I eat dinner at this time, my brother eats dinner at this time, daddy eat dinner at this time, and we're not all together. So make sure you have a schedule. Your compass, the next thing that is not in your bag, but we should all have one because everybody has a smartphone or a tablet or even one of these bad boys in person, a hard copy. Your planner. Your planner is your compass. I can have a roadmap all I want, but if I don't know which way north is, I might as well throw my map in the trash. All right. So I like to keep a planner. This is October. As you can see, I have all types of clips on my planner because I keep the date clipped, and I keep the current date. This is November. I also keep the past month because November just started. Well, not even really because time is flying. But to me, November just started. So I still have October fresh. And then I even have it to where I can flip to December if I have to. So you always keep 3 months on tabs. I put everything on my planner from, I had an open enrollment appointment. I had a staff meeting. Parent night is on here. Last month was my birthday. So of course I had my cake right here in pink. And then this month I'm getting married. So I got my little rings right here. So I put everything on my, everything's on there. The first thing that I do, and everybody laughs at me when I do this, when the school year starts, I go on duvalschools.org and I write down all the days we have off. I put my weather days, I put the holidays, back when we were doing early release days, I put those on here. So nothing, I went through my whole calendar from August to next year in May. So all that's on my calendar already. All right, even if the calendar isn't as full as it is, it's still on there. Another thing I have, which is another compass of mine, this is my child's calendar from her school. All right, they have literacy week coming up. So I know all the things that she has to dress up for, and nothing can catch me off guard. Then I have my work calendar. I hand drew it myself. Again, I'm a visual learner. So if your child needs to do this, or if you need to do that, please do it with them. It's a really neat family activity. And I usually color coordinate my calendars. If you looked at my main one, I have pencil, pen, highlighter. I have pink pens. I have green. You can get a pack from Walmart or Dollar Tree that has all different colors in it. So if your child's favorite color is pink, give them a pink highlighter, give them pink Post-it notes, give them pink everything, because it's gonna make them more willing to do it and to stay organized. But give them a pink marker or a pink crayon or a color pencil, and they can put all their favorite things on their calendar that they have coming up. You can even color coordinate by subject. So if you have a spelling test on Friday, if you have a science test on Thursday, put your science in green, put your spelling in purple, however they want to do it, because it's going to make them remember it. And the biggest thing about keeping a calendar is that if I know I have a spelling test on Friday, guess what? It's Monday. I have 5 days of study. Well, really 4. All right. If I don't have my calendar and it's already Thursday and my spelling test is tomorrow, that's it. Okay. So when you teach them to be organized, my daughter had a book report that's not due until next week. She finished it this past weekend. And she has not stopped talking about how happy she is that she finished her book report early, because now she has more time for Roblox. So it gives them a sense of accomplishment too when they knock things out early. And she had a science test today. And because we knew she had the science test on Tuesday, because there's no school tomorrow, she did not have test anxiety, because she knew that she had so many days of study for it. And she did what she was supposed to do. She studied for them in advance. And when this morning came, she was fine. So it relieves anxiety when we do things ahead of time and when we can see it coming. You don't want to ever be blindsided by anything. The next thing in my pack is my protective gear. Again, we are in the time of 2020 with coronavirus. Some kids are thriving online. Some kids hate online schooling. Some kids are back in school. Some kids not so much. But whatever you do in the time of 2020, just like Ms. Perry mentioned, you can control certain things. And the thing that I can control when I walk into the grocery store is that I'm going to be protected. I can't tell anybody else to wear a mask, but I can put one on myself. I can give one to my child so they are protected in school. I can even give them a face shield if I need to. And I can also put a little bottle of hand sanitizer in their book bags to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. Now, the thing with the face shield, it is ineffective if you don't have on a mask with it. So never think a face shield is 100% safe. If you're going to do the face shield route, you have to put on a mask. These kind of masks are disposable. You cannot wear these after you wear them one time. Okay, so if they go to school with the disposable mask, as soon as they get home, just like I tell my daughter, go hop in the shower, throw that mask in the trash. The cloth masks, this is another family activity that you can do if you have a pillowcase, scissors, and hot glue, and some of the elastic. You can make your own cloth face masks. Now with the cloth ones, you can wear them multiple times, but you do have to hand wash them. Just like we washing our hands, you got to wash the masks too, or else it's not, like I said, it's not effective. With masks, you see I have different colors of the disposable ones. If your child's favorite color is pink, give them a pink mask. They're going to be more likely to wear it. If your son loves superheroes, get them a Black Panther mask. If they love Mickey Mouse, they even have the kids ones that has Mickey and Donald and Goofy on them, and Pluto. All right, so they come in all different shapes, all different sizes. They're customizable. I tell anybody, if you put my initial on it and put it in my favorite color, I'm gonna buy it. So everybody loves customizable things. So please make sure you have your protective gear. The next thing is our first aid kit. Now, with a first aid kit, you think, well, oh, I slipped and fell. If I'm exploring the jungle, I had a tree branch scratch my arm, so I got to slap a Band-Aid on it. All right. Not just physical first aid. Again, we're in the time of coronavirus, so we need some mental first aid too. Some me time for the kids. Ms. Perry shared a lot of really good strategies about what to do, taking deep breaths, doing, cutting your phone off for an hour. Those are things that we can do for first aid in these times. You have to have some me time. That me time does not have to be at a spa because again, coronavirus, but you can have your own spa days at home. There are different YouTube videos that show you how to make different hand scrubs. You can sit and listen to music for 15 minutes just to clear your mind and turn off the TV. All right, I literally had to go to my doctor because my anxiety was flaring up because I was watching the TV too much. Just turning it off helped tremendously. I was able to sleep better and everything. So just simple things can be used as first aid. In your bag, I dropped a few pieces of candy in there. All right, motivation. So when you take that memo pad and you put your goals on there for the week, once you accomplish some goals, reward yourself. I love rewarding myself with food personally. So I say, well, okay, if I get all the stuff on my list done, I'm gonna go to my favorite restaurant and get takeout. And that's how I reward myself. Rewards don't have to be in food or candy. Rewards can be extra TV time, renting a movie, or a Netflix movie. You can Netflix it up one night, have popcorn, family movie night. Do a family craft together. My daughter made my exploration binoculars. And this was something that she enjoyed. It's toilet paper rolls and yarn. That's all it is. And I think she used glue and cardboard from all the Amazon boxes I've been getting more often than lately. So it's different things you can do that don't have to be expensive and you don't have to leave home for them. But please make sure you're motivating your kids. And also focusing on the positive things and mental health checks. Just say, well, hey, you know, how you doing today? How you really doing? And don't just tell me fine. Give me a real answer. And that's why making family time on your schedule is important because everybody needs mental health check-ins. If adults do, you know children do because they're not going to express their feelings like we do. They don't have that mental intelligence yet. So we as adults have to make sure we set aside time to check in on them and see what's going on in their heads. All right, so your adventurer's backpack. That's basically what this is. But there's also some supplies in there too. You have some rulers, some pencils, a calculator, all types of things, and all my supplies are all scattered about. Supplies are important. As adults, if we go to a staff meeting and we just show up with ourselves and a smile and nothing else in our hands, our bosses are gonna look at us like we crazy. Because then you have to put up the church finger and say, oh, excuse me, I left my planner, or I left my notes, I left my report. And everybody's looking like, well, who does that? You knew we had a staff meeting. Why would you come unprepared? So apply that same logic to your child in class. They're sitting at a school, they've been in school all day. They go to their next class and sit at that desk unprepared. Don't have no paper, no pencils, nothing. It's the same thing. You have to make sure your child is prepared. The first 10 to 15 minutes in a classroom is usually either a review or an introduction to a new lesson. So if your child, hey, can I get some paper? Can I borrow a pencil? Is doing that for the first 10, 15 minutes, they have completely missed whatever that teacher is saying. So please make sure your child comes to school prepared every single day. Check their backpacks. Make sure they have everything they need. Also keep a set of supplies at home. As adults, we tend to have pens all over the place. And I told you my baby's in elementary school as well. There was one point where she was like, Mommy, I need a pencil. And I was like, yeah, I see a pen, I see some Sharpie markers. Yeah, we in my junk drawer in the kitchen, we did not have a single pencil. All right, so please make sure you keep some number twos at the house as well as at school, because we know kids give their friends supplies sprout legs and disappear on them throughout the day. So when they come home, you might have sent them with 5 pencils. They come home with like 1.5. So send them back to school with new pencils. All right, make sure you have supplies at home. You have to have your child prepared for school. And it makes them more secure about what they're doing. if I know I'm going to science next, switching classes or having the teacher switch class, and I know I'm in a new subject, and I know I don't have any paper or pencil, I'm gonna be sitting there sweating because either A, I'm gonna have to be embarrassed and ask my friend, and then if they have friends like I had in school, you ain't got no paper, they're gonna put me on blast in front of the whole class, and now I'm gonna be embarrassed. And now the teacher knows I'm not prepared, so it's just like, well, what are you here for? You know you're at school, so you have to have your supplies. So please, please, please make sure we send our kids to school prepared. The next thing is your travel diary. Every good explorer makes notes about what happens. All right, so your travel diary is gonna be your parent folder, okay? Another thing that serves as your travel diary is your child's focus account. And I meant to say this in way back when I was talking about a compass. Your child has a focus account where you can see their grades, you can see their teacher's information, you can see their schedule and everything else in between. As parents, we also have a focus account. You can sign up for one on duvalschools.org. If you don't know how to do it, I guarantee you your child knows how to do it. Or you can just look at theirs. If they say, well, I don't know what my grades are, or I don't know that, they do. They know what their grades are because you can see them. If you need to ever contact a teacher, all you do is click on that teacher's name and focus, and it gives you a direct link to all their contact information. As a matter of fact, it links you directly to their email. So you can send a note just as fast as you'd like to. With that email and your parent folder, keep all correspondence in your parent notebook. All right, I don't like folders because they're kind of flimsy. So if you can get the 3-ring binder, that's the best option because that parent folder is going to get thick after a while, especially if you start at the beginning of the year. Inside your parent folder is not only your email correspondence, make a log of whenever you call the school. Write down who you talked to, what day it was, what time it was, and give yourself a little bit of a brief explanation about either if you left a message, say what it was about. So that way, if you ever have to go in for a parent-teacher conference or speak to the principal or the assistant principal or even the guidance counselor, you have all your receipts and all your notes right there in your parent folder. Another thing in your parent folder, all of your records, shot records, physicals, copies of your driver's license, especially if you're going to be switching schools. After elementary school is middle school, and you have to have all that information on file. Educational documents. If your child has an IEP or a 504 plan, put that in your parent folder. Also, a list of emergency contacts, just in case the school needs it. Oh, you need that? Okay, it's right here. All right, so you'll be prepared, your child will be prepared, your child will see you being prepared, and they'll say, well, oh, I want to be like that. I need to keep receipts. So it teaches them early on to be organized. If you have different kids, I know one parent said she has 5. So guess what? You got to get some dividers. You can keep all the kids in the same notebook, but keep a different divider for every child. That way, all the stuff doesn't get all jumbled up. If they're in different grade levels, you can either keep the 3-ring binder or get you a separate binder for the children who are in a different grade level. So maybe one binder for elementary school, one binder for middle school, or another binder for high school. All right. So yes, that is it for me. That is your travel diary, your parent survival toolkit for 2020. Do we have any questions or comments from the audience? Can we
Parents,
use any of
I'm
that?
sorry. This is Miss Armont. Parents, if you would, type in the chat box, if you can, the names of your students. If you're calling in, just make sure we have the names of your students so that they can get something extra special when they return to school for your attendance and participation this evening. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much, and I hope you have enjoyed the evening thus far.
Thank you, Ms. Dalton. Certainly, you presented some very informative information, and I'm sure that they have the information that will help them to organize during this pandemic. And at this time, we still want to just remind them of some important dates, as you said. I also revolved everything around those school holidays and important dates. So parents, I know that you know that tomorrow is a holiday. That's Veterans Day. So you have a day off. That would always bring a lot of happiness to me, which means that you can relax even more, as Miss Perry pointed out. You can relax a little, organize a little, just take your time and just take a look at where you are. That's Veterans Day. Go to the parade. Also, keep in mind that you have a progress report coming up, and that's next week, next Thursday. Can you believe that? And the progress report is very important because it gives you an opportunity to see how your child is doing. And that brings us to focus, and we'll also talk a little bit more about that. And then your Thanksgiving holiday, 26th, 27th, so important. Uh, and you'll have those days off. Looking forward to Thanksgiving. At least it comes down a little further. I know really also when I was in the school system, so important in terms of preparation. So you get a little bit longer this year. And then this 9 weeks will end when you get ready to go home for Christmas. So that's a good thing. But it gives you an opportunity to see how much time you have. So those are important dates, parents, to apply the information that Ms. Dawson gave you. Thank you so much. And now Ms. Burney is going to ask you to take a poll for us.
Thank you so much, Ms. Norman. I'm so glad again that we have everyone on the line. I know that we just had someone else to join us, but I want to take a poll, but I want to share one thing with you. I noticed, for instance, that Mr. Moss said that he had one child who started at Timaquan and is now in college, and also has a child at Timaquan now. The thing that's so different for all children right now in 2020 in this pandemic is that you really do need to stay in contact with them to find out how they are feeling. We don't know what all they're looking at on television. We don't know what all if they have any fears or anything with regards to school. If they're not in the physical building, what's happening with them? Please keep a mental note. Please make sure, as Ms. Dawson said, just ask them, how are you? Really, truly, tell me how you're feeling. What's going on? That is so very critical. So I'm going to just share a brief poll and ask that you provide your thoughts for us. And the first poll is, we'll just ask you if tonight's meeting was informative. Did you get any information? It didn't have to be new information, but did you get information? So I'm going to launch the poll, and I'd like for everyone to vote for us. We're so glad that this was informative for you. Now, the next poll that we will launch is, will you apply what you learned during tonight's meeting? If you learned something from Ms. Dawson tonight, if you learned something from Ms. Perry, if you learned something, will you apply that? And it doesn't mean that you just have to apply it to yourself, because you may know a whole lot of that, but will you take what your knowledge is and share with somebody else? But will you apply what you learned during tonight's meeting? Please give us a yes or a no, and I will launch the poll. Wonderful. Now, the next two are a little bit more personal, and that is about your child. Does your child need help dealing with the pandemic? There are some parents, who will say, yes, my child is having some problems or some issues, but does your child need help dealing with the pandemic? And we'll launch the poll. Very good. And then the final question is, this one has to do with you. As a parent, do you need help dealing with the pandemic? And I'll launch the poll. Very good. Okay, Mrs. Norman.
Okay, thank you so much. And once again, be sure, but we've got all the information that we need from you this evening. We thank you once again for sharing with us this evening, and we want to be sure that we make this worthwhile. In addition to providing the information for you to assist your child, we are going to we have included you in a drawing for tonight. That's a special benefit that is being derived from participating tonight. If you are here online with us, you're on Zoom with us, then that means that we have put your name in a special drawing, and we are now going to draw and see who will win our $25 gift card tonight.
Okay.
A special surprise for you tonight.
Thank you, Mrs. Norman. I just need the person who is on iPhone 3, if you can tell me your child's name and your name so that I can include you in the drawing.
That's Mayan's mom. I think she's ashamed because she tried to sneak on here late.
That's okay. That's okay. I love it. I love it. We normally do our spinning wheel, but because we have 3 parents, I'm going to let you see 3. And I'm going to ask, well, I always call it Mr. Rail, but I'm going to ask Miss Armont if she could tell me, and I'm going to put, I'm putting numbers on the back of them, 1, 2, or 3. So Mr. Rail, can you give me a number, 1, 2, or 3? Miss Armont, I'm sorry.
2.
2. And the winner is Miss Boston. Let's give her a hand, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. So Mrs. Perry, Miss Perry will get that information, get the gift card over to the school, and she'll give it to Miss Armont, and they'll get it to you. Parents, thank you so very much for joining us. As I said to you, we don't want to hold you long. We just want you to get informed, because an informed parent is an empowered parent. And I know that your children are going to benefit from everything that you do as a parent, because you have to be awesome. And the reason I say that you have to be awesome is because you are parents of stars, and stars are smart, talented, and resilient students. So thank you so very much to each and every one of you. And again, Ms. Armont, thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Norman, Ms. Perry, and Ms. Dawson. Everybody, please have a good night.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Thank you, parents. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Ms. Armand.
Thank you.